always start with the periphery, and I mean like really periphery. Okay. Hello, my name is Katyusha, and I'm very happy to bring you this video today from Eastern Europe, from the Ukraine. I am at my grandmother's apartment, who is 96. I sent her off to the kitchen so we can talk sex in her living room. So the setup that you see behind, it's exactly the same setup that was created over 60 years ago. The same carpets, the same furniture, the same library. Every time I'm in these walls, I feel like I traveled through a time machine, and it feels like when I was a little child, between when I was a little child and now, it feels like everything else that happened in between, it almost like it didn't happen. It just feels weird. It just feels strange, and it's a little bit scary to me. But here we are. So yeah, see, that's all the library. Scratch my head, shots, they're new, but the library, it's from, I don't know, Dostoevsky, Pushkin, Turgenev, Yesenin, Tolstoy, Nekrasov, and many more Russian authors. That's screwed with our heads too. Russian literature is tough for undeveloped brain of a young adult. Like, we would read those books when we were very young. Like, I'm talking about 13, 14, 15, 16. We had to read and analyze that, and that didn't do good to my head, I must say. Anyway, let's talk about female sexual arousal today and how to become a better lover. So to become a better lover, you need essentially two things: education, very important, knowledge, and then a beloved partner to practice it with. So knowledge and education. Today, I am introducing you to the erectile network of a female. It's the center of a woman's arousal system. So for a man, the erectile tissue is essentially one single unit, a penis. For a woman, it's a bit more complex. It's actually four things. So they're all interconnected, but they yet are all separate compartments that can function together or separately. So few of them you know about, and one of them I bet you've never heard about. And leave me in the comments below whether I'm right or wrong. Okay, so the first one is the clitoris, right? That is composed of three parts: the glans, the shaft, and the legs. Even when the legs are aroused, well, the whole clitoris is aroused, the legs is very hard to detect. But what's not very hard to detect and very important to detect are vestibular bulbs. We talked about it in detail in video right here. I'll link it in the description below. So those vestibular bulbs, there are these tear-shaped pads that start at the orifice of the vagina, and they'll go up on either sides, connecting to the shaft of the clitoris. So it is a number one sign that a woman is ready for penetration, right? It's not the wetness, it's actually when the whole vagina gets plump. It's those vestibular bulbs get erect. That's the number one sign. Once again, very important that a woman is ready for penetration. It's very important because if she's not fully aroused, for majority of women, for the vast majority of women, entering of the penis actually does not feel good. Okay. So, but once they're aroused, it feels amazing, and it will feel amazing for you too, because those vestibular bulbs, they will wrap up your penis like this snug sleeve. Okay. So that's that. So number three is the G-spot, right? You've heard about the G-spot. It's actually not a spot. It's a cylinder, right? It's located above the vaginal wall and right beneath and below the arch of the pubic bone, right? And it loves, and again, the woman needs to be aroused for you in order for you to even find it. It will feel like this. It's like your tongue, if you put your tongue up to your palate and the mouth, and it feels like there's waves, so it's going to feel with your finger exactly the same way, but the woman needs to be aroused for you in order to locate that spot. And then the fourth one, it is the perineal sponge, okay? So are you familiar with that? Have you ever heard that? Leave me in the comments below. But that's perineal sponges. No one really knows about, but it is another spot that that you can exude this luscious pleasure from, right? exquisite pleasure from. So how to locate it? It's located in the tissue, in the wall between the vaginal and the anal canals. So how to locate it? For women and men, you can put your thumb inside of the vagina and then your index finger in the anal canal, and then go like half an inch, and then maybe like another half an inch, and somewhere there maybe like a little more. And then if you squeeze your fingers, you will feel this pad, like you feel this pad. So that's the fourth compartment of the erectile set of a woman. Again, a woman needs to be aroused in order for you to be able to feel it, locate it, and to deliver this exquisite pleasure to your goddess. All right? So how to tend to those areas? Very differently. The mistake that guys make, they know about the clitoris, and though they just shove their fingers and their hands onto that clitoris, and it just, most of the time, it feels really uncomfortable and painful. And a lot of women, they're just like tolerate because they're embarrassed to say something, because they think something maybe is wrong with them. No, nothing's wrong with them. And yes, every woman is different. We have different sensitivities. However, always start with the periphery, and I mean like really periphery. Okay, the hand stroking of the hands, the arms, the shoulders, the neck, body in general. Like run your fingers through her back. This is how you start, and you get to the center of pleasure the very last moment. So in the clitoris, so since it's so sensitive and it has over 8,000 nerve endings, right? For some women, they can't even bear the touch, right? So you can just even like massage it with your energy, right? And then slowly starting from the periphery, and it has to be slippery. That part is so sensitive, right? It needs to really be tended with exquisite care. Now, the sponges, right? The sponge is a different story. They actually respond best to this rhythmic, steady stimulation. All right. So I hear my grandmother is walking into close. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like and share it. I lost my train of thoughts. Бабулечка, я записываю видео, моя хорошая. Okay, so subscribe, share, like it, and I'll see you in my next video.